Welcome back to the channel. Guys, today is a beautiful day, but the drama unfolding on our screens is anything but calm. We have a massive amount of chaos to unpack today, from broken hearts to wild rumors, so grab a snack and let's just dive right into the absolute madness happening in Los Angeles. So let's talk about Will Spencer. Right now, the guy is going through an absolute, undeniable nightmare on the bold and the beautiful. And honestly, it is really hard to watch sometimes. A few episodes ago, we saw Eric Forrester just completely lose his mind and banish Will from the Forrester family forever. Just kicked him right out of the mansion. And Elektra Forrester just stood there. She didn't defend him. She didn't fight for him. She just let him walk away, so now Will is spiraling hard. He is wandering the dark streets of Los Angeles, completely intoxicated, totally depressed, and just a broken man. And it is a bad situation, really bad. Will is drowning in guilt because he kept all those massive corporate secrets about Hope defecting to Logan, and the pressure just made him snap. He got violent. He punched R.J. Forrester in the face at the beach house. And yeah, violence is never the answer, but let's be real, R.J. is so manipulative and was just waiting for a reason to steal Elektra away. Ridge Forrester swooped in, acting all high and mighty, demanding Elektra cut ties with Will because he's dangerous. Which is hilarious because Ridge literally just punched Dollar Bill Spencer in the face last week. The hypocrisy in that family is off the charts, but anyway, Will is at rock bottom. But, believe it or not, Will's life could actually be so much worse right now. I know that sounds impossible given that he is currently drunk and vulnerable to Melissa Dillon's creepy rebound seduction schemes, but it's true because we need to talk about Luna Nozawa. Remember her? The literal serial killer. Yeah, that Luna? I know a lot of fans on social media have been trying to block that whole storyline out of their memories because it was just so dark and twisted, but we have to bring it up because it matters right now. Will is currently crying over Elektra and drinking his pain away, but he could actually be raising a baby with a psychopath. Let's rewind a bit and look at the history here. Will accidentally got Luna pregnant when she drugged his drink. She slipped something into his cup and completely took advantage of him while he was out of his mind. He was so messed up he actually thought he was sleeping with his girlfriend. It was awful. Just awful. What were the writers thinking? Honestly. It was such a heavy, traumatizing storyline, and then they just kind of swept the emotional fallout under the rug so we could get back to fashion shows. But the consequences of that night, they are still ticking like a massive time bomb in the background. And this is where the math comes in. Soap opera pregnancies are always a bit confusing. The timelines are always super weird and clunky, and babies age 5 years overnight. But Luna announced she was pregnant with Will's baby back in October 2025. So if we do the math and give or take a few weeks for soap opera time jumps, Luna's due date would be exactly 9 months later, which is July 2026, which is literally right now. Right this very second. So while Will is stumbling around drunk and feeling sorry for himself, there is a very real possibility that Will's baby is being born somewhere in the world. But wait, how could that be? Luna is dead, right? Well, maybe. Let's recap what actually happened because it was a wild, chaotic ride. After the pregnancy reveal, Elektra finally had enough and called the cops on Luna. She got her arrested and thrown in jail. Good riddance. Will was terrified at the thought of having a kid with her. He was practically having panic attacks about being tied to this monster for the rest of his life. But then he managed to dodge a massive bullet, or so we were led to believe. Because on one dark, stormy night, Luna somehow escaped from prison. Just broke right out during a massive storm. Lightning flashing, rain pouring, police sirens wailing in the distance. short punches, classic soap opera drama. So she escapes, and where does she go? Straight to Will's beach house. She shows up looking like a drowned rat, completely frantic and unhinged. And she drops a massive bombshell on him. She tells him that she had a miscarriage while she was locked up in prison. She says there is no baby anymore. Will doesn't even have time to process this. He doesn't even have a second to confirm if she is telling the truth or if it's just another one of her sick, twisted lies. Because before he can even blink, she turns around and runs right out the door. She runs straight into the dark road. And bam, hit by a speeding car. Just like that. Dead-on impact. Okay, that sounded dramatic, but you get what I mean. It was a chaotic, crazy scene, but here is the thing, you guys. This is the bold and the beautiful. Nobody ever really dies. Unless we see a body in a casket, and even then, sometimes they still come back. Look at Sheila Carter. She's practically immortal. There have been so many rumors flying around social media lately that Luna faked her death. That the whole car crash was a setup so she could disappear and have Will's baby in secret. Think about it. She is a master manipulator. She is a serial killer. Faking her own death is right up her alley. If those stories are true, then the baby is already here. Will could be a father right now and not even know it. Can you imagine? He is already spiraling into a drunken depression over Elektra. He just got banished by Eric, and now imagine if a baby is just dropped on his doorstep. It would destroy him. Or maybe it would save him. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too harsh on the guy. He's been through a lot. But a secret serial killer baby would definitely complicate things. But let's pivot for a second. Let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture going on this summer. Because Will isn't the only one having a complete meltdown. The entire Forrester family is in deep, deep trouble right now. Forrester Creations is basically on fire. Everything is paused. The corporate war is getting so ugly. And the only thing they are desperately trying to plan is a massive reboot of the Hope for the Future line. But there is one giant, glaring problem with that plan. Hope Logan is gone. She defected. She packed up her bags, signed a secret contract with Katie Logan, and launched Hope by Logan at a rival fashion house. And she completely blindsided the Forresters. The fallout from this defection has been insane. Did you guys see Eric Forrester's live stream? He completely lost his mind. He had a massive public temper tantrum during a press interview, screaming at reporters that the Logans were stealing their thunder and trying to take credit for their work. It was embarrassing, but also kind of amazing television. Ridge is furious. Steffy is furious. They are out for blood. They want revenge on Hope and the Spencer family, and they will cross any line to get it, which brings us to the biggest question of the summer. Will Forrester Creations do the unthinkable? Will they actually relaunch Hope for the Future without Hope? Legally, they can. Forrester Creations owns the brand. They own the trademarks, the designs, the name, everything. They can do whatever they want with it, but from a PR standpoint, it's a total nightmare. How do you sell a brand named after a woman who is currently actively competing against you at a rival company? It takes a very specific kind of creative genius to pull that off and make the public buy it. Right now, Zende Forrester Domings is the lead designer. Ridge promoted him right before Hope defected. And poor Zende is just crushed. He designed an entire collection that might never see the light of day. Zende is talented, sure, but is he enough to carry a massive revenge relaunch all by himself? Probably not. They need a heavy hitter. They need someone who knows the brand inside and out. They need someone whose very presence will be the ultimate slap in the face to Hope Logan. And that is why we really need to talk about Thomas Forrester. Seriously, where in the world is Thomas? Matthew Atkinson has not been seen on our screens since December 2025. He came back to Los Angeles for a very brief stint to help Hope with a relaunch plan. But that whole thing completely fell apart. Hope didn't really want to work with him because she had just reunited with Liam Spencer. So Thomas just quietly vanished off the canvas a few episodes later. Just gone. Poof. And we haven't heard a single peep from him since. It is so weird. It is honestly bizarre. The Forrester family has been at war over this Hope for the Future line for months. Steffy paused it. Hope fought for it. Zende got promoted. Hope defected. It has been non-stop, exhausting drama surrounding this specific fashion line, and yet, absolute silence from the guy who literally co-created the line's biggest successes. Thomas was the lead designer for years. He poured his blood, sweat, and tears into HFTF. You would think he would be front and center in all these boardroom screaming matches. You would think he would be the very first one Ridge calls when the company is in crisis. But no, nothing. Just crickets from Ridge's other son. But think about it. If Ridge and Steffy really want to destroy Hope's new venture at Logan Creations, what better way than to bring Thomas back? Bringing Thomas back to take over HFTF would be the ultimate power move. It would be a direct, vicious attack on Hope's legacy. Thomas knows her style. He knows the buyers. He knows how to design the exact kind of clothes that made the line a massive hit in the first place. If they want to launch Hope for the future without Hope, Thomas is the only one who can make it work. He is the missing puzzle piece. Of course, that would totally screw over Zende. Again, poor Zende is always getting shoved aside for Thomas. But let's be real, Ridge will always choose his own son over his nephew when the chips are down. That is just how the Forrester family operates. They are hypocrites. Look at how Ridge is treating Will Spencer right now for being violent. Even though Ridge just punched Bill Spencer in the face, the double standards are wild. So yeah, Ridge would absolutely throw Zende under the bus if it meant bringing Thomas back to stick it to the Logans. I just really miss Matthew Atkinson on the show. The energy he brings is so specific and so needed right now. He can play the villain, he can play the romantic lead, he can play the tortured artist. We need that energy. The corporate war is fun, but it needs that extra layer of deep, messy personal history. Thomas returning to steal Hope's brand out from under her would be soap opera gold. It would drive Hope absolutely crazy. She is already struggling with so much guilt and anxiety over betraying her mother, Brooke. Imagine if she also has to watch her ex-obsessor take over her namesake brand and make it a success without her. It would break her. So we have to massive wild cards hanging over the show right now. Will's potential secret baby with a dead serial killer, and Thomas Forrester's Mia status while his family burns to the ground. These are the kinds of storylines that keep us hooked. The writers have laid the groundwork perfectly. The due date for Luna's baby is literally right now. The HFTF line is sitting empty, waiting for a savior. It is all right there. They just need to pull the trigger. And going back to Will for a second, if he doesn't get his act together soon, RJ is going to permanently steal Elektra away. RJ is already swooping in, playing the good guy, acting like he is so much better than Will. It makes me sick. RJ is so manipulative, but Will is making it so easy for him. Wandering around drunk, getting violent, keeping secrets about the Logan fashion show. Will brought this on himself, but still, a secret baby. That would just be the icing on the tragic, messy cake that is Will Spencer's life right now. I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe Luna really is dead and the baby is gone forever. Maybe Thomas is just enjoying a really long vacation in Paris and will never come back to Los Angeles. But what fun is that? We watch this show for the drama, for the twists that make absolutely no sense until they suddenly do. I want to see Will confronted with a baby carrier. I want to see Thomas strut into the Forrester boardroom with a new portfolio and a smirk on his face. That is the kind of crazy summer drama we deserve. What do you guys think? Do you think we have really seen the last of Luna Nozawa? Could we'll have a kid out there somewhere? And do you find it weird that Thomas hasn't returned to fight for hope for the future? Do you miss Matthew Atkinson on the CBS soap? Let me know your thoughts in the comments because I am honestly losing my mind trying to figure out where the writers are going with all of this. It's a mess, but it's our mess.